Sonia Jadhav, Rameshwari, Archismita Barua, Milind Boplani, Prerna Singh. Everyone, kindly switch on your webcams.
Yes, sir. Just give me 2 seconds.
A bit faster. There were a lot of webcams off yesterday. Today I'll be strict around. Anyone with webcams off will be simply removed from the meeting. Vaishali, if you could do, it would be a pleasure. Digvijay, just inform me once we are on recording. Fine. Welcome back, everyone. I'm P. Shravan Kumar, the founder of SK Associates and Group, and your host for Conference 1.6 on how to build your dream team for your startup.
And I'm Aditi Jain, the Chief Strategic Alliance Advisor of SK Associates and Group, and I'm Shravan's co-host for Conference 1.6 on how to build your dream team for your startup. We would like to request all the speakers and attendees to switch on your webcams and stay on throughout the conference. Now, we would like to quickly introduce our guest for the second session of Conference 1.6.
Firstly, we would like to introduce Ms. Salini Pinaka, who is a budding human relations professional with innate passion to bridge gap between people and organizations, policies, or processes. With hands-on experience in human resource business partnering, recruitment, onboarding, and international total rewards, Salini loves speaking to youths interested in human resources management. Besides being an ambitious human resource person, constantly looking out for diverse opportunities to learn, her interests lie in keeping herself healthy with yoga and trekking. Shalini's hobby include traveling and bottle painting too.
Our next guest on the panel is Mrs. Kiran Karakwal, who is a HR professional with over 13 years of rich experience in HR functions, entailing recruitment, resourcing and development, payroll administration, performance management, administration, and employee engagement. She is proficient in overseeing smooth implementation of HR policies for manpower planning, performance management system, recruitment, selection, induction, orientation, and development of new employees through career and succession planning. With experience in coordinating the operations of large task groups with demonstrated leadership qualities and organizational skills during the tenure. Kiran has a proven record of accomplishment of with commitment to creative recruitment and noteworthy experience in multiple success locating identifying positions. Kiran has the ability to self-manage multiple positions by sourcing, screening, qualifying, coordinating interviews, negotiating, and closing candidates. She is skilled in analyzing, designing, developing, implementing, and supervising sound human resource policies and procedures.
Our next guest on the panel is Mr. Sarvabanandan, who is a passionate HR leader who began his career under the leadership of Dr. Varghese Kurian from NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, located in Anand, a small town in Gujarat. A decade-long tenure in NDDB provided him rich experience, such as being associated with Operation Flood 3, the world's largest rural development program. This provided him an opportunity to interact with farmers, elected representatives of farmers, professionals managing farmer-owned organizations within India, various nations who wanted to replicate the Amul dairy cooperative model in their country. After a long stint with NDDB, he moved to TVS Sri Chakra Limited, Vellaripati plant, Madurai. His main focus was human resource development and CSR activities in the surrounding areas. From TSL, he moved to IMC Limited, a leading port terminaling and infrastructure company in India based out of Chennai, Tamil Nadu. It was a leadership role and the journey was over 6 long years. During this period, the company embarked on its aggressive expansion and growth, stepping into various verticals. After this, he had a memorable entrepreneurial journey for over 4 years, working closely with top corporates, supporting them to develop and implement human resource policies and systems. After an entrepreneurial stint, the journey continued with the pharmaceutical industry, working in a leadership role in human resources development. On the personal front, Mr. Nandan was born and brought up in the Coimbatore district of Tamil Nadu, India. He did his schooling and undergraduation in B-Science Zoology from PSP Group of Institutions, Coimbatore, and post-graduation in Social Work from Loyola College, Chennai.
Our next guest on the panel is Nilesh Kataria, who is a reliable, energetic, and resourceful HR, marketing, and consultancy professional experienced in negotiating high end client contracts and driving strategic decisions through effective leadership qualities. Nilesh is experienced in account management and auditing with certification of management accounting. He is currently the founder and CEO of Apna Jugaad, his own venture on content marketing and growth consulting.
We also have Mrs. Shika Gupta, who is an HR leader with experience across a gamut of human resource functions in the IT sector, product and services industries. She has a strong background in corporate HR activities, organizational development, and effective communication at all levels. She is currently working as a senior director and talent acquisition director in Birlasoft. As for her experience, she has worked as the head of talent acquisition in the organization Winwire Technologies Inc. She has also worked as a talent partner, CSF, and global head for the MBA campus hiring and engagement programs, and also as a senior manager for human resources in the organization Wipro Limited. Talking about her licenses and certifications, she is a certified happiness coach issued by Happy2, a LinkedIn certified app for working remotely, HR management and analytics certified professional from MET Future Academy. She has volunteered for the state president for Karnataka Human Resources Council, WICCI, Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, TED Circles host. She has also been the ambassador for the Top Person, an international business politics and NGO magazine, and a global charity which HUB. She has also volunteered in global HR leadership as the leader and is a corporate mentor for KIIT School of Management, Bhubaneswar. Coming to her skills and specialities, she is recognized in leadership hiring, global MBA campus hiring, HR policies drafting and practices, HR systems and tools, manpower planning, budgeting and recruitment, employee engagement, learning and development, organizational skill design and development, performance management, rewards and recognition, soft skills such as training and content development. She is also an expert in French language.
Our next guest on the panel is Kunjal Jeshbhai Dhakan, who started her career as an intern at NJ Wealth Financial Services, and then after completion of her graduation, she started her professional career at Royal Staffing Services LLP as a recruiter, as she had a keen interest for human resource management. At RSS LLP, she built her skills and is currently leading her team to manage end-to-end recruitment in non-IT and IT field. She is also passionately involved in operations management and human resource management activities in respect of talent acquisition, employees engagement, team leading, and management skills.
So, we would like to request all the guest speakers and attendees to kindly switch on your respective webcams throughout the conference. We would also like to inform you that the HR team is conducting polls in the comment box throughout the conference. Do actively participate in the same by giving your opinions on the polls. At the same time, I would like to request some of the attendees in particular, raise Narayana, Vishnu, Bhavya, Rima, Ishneet, Elissa, Nilesh Kataria, Kankana, Jafar Hussain, Samrit, Kunjal, Ajay. Whoever has your videos off, kindly switch it on. Please. I would appreciate your initiative. Yeah. Everyone. Adarsh, Ajay, Prerna. A bit faster. Now that's better. Any attendees without videos on shall be removed from the meeting at exactly 7:15 p.m. I'm just informing. So further, we would like to invite Ms. Shalini Pinaka, HR and Compensation Specialist at Tata Consultancy Services, to share her insights. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shravan. I'm so sorry. I don't think I followed my introduction because I was a little late. Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Shravan, if you could confirm if I'm audible, please. Okay, thank you. Um, Good evening, everyone. I'm sure all of you are in the weekend mode, but I'll try to make it a little interactive so that it's not a sleeping kind of session. The slot given is 15 minutes. I'll try to close it within that time. But before we start off, I hope all of you have the chat boxes on. So I just wanted to quickly have take two questions. As in, tell you two questions, and if you could just give me answers to it, I'll know what kind of audience I'm speaking to, and I can modify my speech accordingly. So the first thing I wanted to know is, I know this is all for entrepreneurs. So the first thing I wanted to understand is, if you already have started your business, or if you already have a plan in place, I wanted to understand how many of you actually have a reason. So just give me like a word, or probably a very short sentence on what is the reason that you thought, I want to get into business, or I want to get into an entrepreneurship and not into probably a kind of a job or any other stream. So I will just look into the chat. Will that be possible? Will I be able to look into the chat, or if whoever is moderating can help me with the answers?
Mm, Most of the students generally, Shalini, prefer entrepreneurship over job because either they are tired of like working in the 9 to 5 shift, or else they would like to be independent. But anyway, we would appreciate hearing the opinions of students.
Yeah.
You can type out
So
in the
I
chat boxes.
don't think I can see the chat. Will I be able to see the chat, Shravan?
You will. There is an in-call messages option on the right side of your Gmail.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Right now, I have
Please
not
type your
received anything, I
opinions.
assume.
Your opinions on why do you think a student shall generally choose entrepreneurship over a job?
So just let me know the reason. If you already have something in your mind and you're planning to start it up, I just want to know the reason why you actually are looking into it and not really looking at a 9 to 5 or any kind of job. I'll just wait for another 10 seconds. If there is no answer, then I'll assume a few things and go ahead with the presentation. Okay. Entrepreneurship helps us to implement our ideas more freely. Okay. Has given that. Independence and innovation. That's great. Innovation is something really important for an entrepreneur. Um, Abhinav Srivastava has given that. Any other insights? Okay, lot of them coming up. Independent, creative, flexibility, build products with sustainability. That's great. It's rewarding, yes, for yourself. If you're really self motivated, yes, it's really rewarding. Freedom to make decisions and see direct benefits and impact of our hard work. Great. I will go ahead with these, and I'm assuming all of you are just going to start your entrepreneurship. I'm still getting a lot of responses, guys, but I'll just quickly. I think it's something similar to what I already read out, like flexibility, ownership, etc. Yeah, I have a fair idea now of as to which kind of audience I'm speaking to. I am going to just share my screen. There's very small presentation so that I don't be very monotonous on this. Please let me know if you're already able to see my screen. If one of you can confirm, I'm not able
Yeah,
to
it's
see any
visible.
email.
It's
Yeah,
visible.
thank you. Great. So all of us know the topic, and I think a few sessions happened yesterday on the same topic on building your team for your startup. But now that I know most of you are just venturing into it, there are a few basic things that you'll definitely have to know before you even look or think about having a dream team in your organization. So let me first start with, what are the kind of startups, and how do you probably put a category, as in which category does your idea or startup fall into if you're really planning to do that. This is a slide that just talks about the list of, or the categories of startups that usually are in the marketplace. The first one that you see is small business startup, wherein most of these are the niche kind of technologies, where you start with probably a small gaming app or a small application which is really useful. Of course, you need to have a market, and that's how the small business startup starts. So on the left side you can see a few pictures. I'll also explain to you what it is, and also probably give you examples from my real life situation. It's not that I personally experienced it, but I've seen my colleagues and close friends who had started up a few ventures and how they went about it. So the first one is a small business startup, which is mostly the technology companies, wherein the funding actually comes from the venture capitalists. And you have somebody, you have an idea, you've told your idea to somebody, and somebody is really okay to probably put some money into your startup because your idea is something which is really long term and it's sustainable. So if some of you may be aware of this company called Farm Easy. They just started with a chain of medical stores first, but they had to rethink about their business plan because chain of stores has not been really working very well. So they had moved into a B2C kind of business, which is business to customer, to a B2B, which is business to business kind of environment. So Farm Easy is a classic example of small business startup. The second one that you see is a scalable startup. This again, I just try to put up something which is something relevant, something like a grocery store or a bakery kind of thing, which you start as a very small thing with your own money, and you try to grow. I have a friend who had started a very small waffle place, just one waffle place, and she started giving up franchisees after it actually picked up. So that is a scalable kind of startup that I would say. And the kind of people that you need for each of these startups is going to be completely different. The first set of the small business startup is where you will need um, people who are really skilled, and somebody who has real technical knowledge, or somebody who's really skilled with what they're doing. In terms of pharmacy, I would say you need a sales guy who's really good at selling your products, and a marketing team, a very good marketing team, etc. Probably once the startup improves a bit, develops a bit. But scalable startups are mostly where you may not need a skilled labor. In the example that I told you, where my friend started a company, a small store, she wanted a wage. Somebody who just comes for wages or probably an hourly pay. That is a scalable kind of startup that I'm talking about. Lifestyle startup, we see a lot of people nowadays. Lifestyle startups like somebody who's really good at dancing and they would want to teach to other people. Something like somebody who is good at art. Again, I have a colleague of mine who just started, she just quit her 9 to 5 job and started her passion, which is she's an artist. So she started a startup, which is a lifestyle startup, wherein she did not have anybody in the beginning. She was just the only person. She was doing her marketing through Instagram, YouTube, and other things. She is the artist, so it's her own products, and she has some contacts, and through them she improved her business. That's a lifestyle kind of startup. Then a viable startup, wherein you have a plan and you would want to develop it, but you don't want to grow so much in it. After you reach a particular point, you may want to sell it to a larger company. So the one that you see in this slide just next to Bible Startup, the logo is of White Hat Junior. All of you would have seen the ads of this White Hat Junior as an organization. White Hat is a larger company, but White Hat Junior is a part of that particular company, wherein this is taken over by Byju's right now. Byju's is
Shalini, I guess you are struck. Is she audible, Aditi?
No, she is not audible.
Shalini, you are stuck. Your cams and audios, everything's stuck. If you could just, like check on your network connection and rejoin once. Aditi, if you could just check with Shalini once. Until then, Yamini, Jafar, Lingala, Ishmeet, Jagruti, Kankana, Arvindam, your videos are still not on. Focus on that. Okay, fine. I guess we can invite the next speaker, Aditi.
Sure. We would like to invite Mrs. Kiran, HR Manager at Ricard Innovations Private Limited, to commence her speech.
Hi, Shravan. Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, yes, so the topic is how to build your
Kiran, you are
team.
not visible. If you could just switch on your webcam,
Yes, sure.
that would be more
Hi.
comfortable.
So, the topic is how to build up your team for your startup. While we know about hiring, can anyone tell me the difference between recruitment and selection? Anyone from the group? Can you send a message in chat box?
What is the difference? What did you say?
Recruitment and selection.
Recruitment is a process, I think. And
Yes.
Selection.
And selection?
Yeah, in which the candidate finally selected for that interview.
Okay. I am getting some reply. Smita gives me a good reply. Okay, so I am starting that. Hiring success is the ability to attract, select, and hire the best talent for any role on demand and on budget. Means always you hear that right person at the right place. Okay. So while going for recruitment for startup, I used to do the internal referral because employee referral are the best way to find the right candidate, and the same goes for external referral. The individual who is working with your company, they know about your company culture. They are the best source for recruitment, and you can give them a referral bonus. So your hiring is very good after the referral. Okay, and for a startup, you have to go for social media activity. You have to take full advantage of your social media, your contacts, your networks, and by doing this, you can fill up your vacant position. Uh, for startup, is very known that employer branding. Employer branding is always good for strong employer branding. Top talent will coming to the brand. You have to maintain your brand. So for branding, you have to go for campus because in campus you can take the advantage of campus recruitment, save time and efforts, improve retention rates, getting new knowledge and skill, quick learner and multitasking candidate. If you know that you all are the, I think you all are the fresher. So you know if we meet you with you people, we can gather many type of knowledge. ठीक है, hire people who can build team, good people know good people. So hire based on soft skills, not degree. While you want to consider an applicant's education, it should not be your deciding factor. Skill like communication, creativity, adaptability are crucial addition to the workplace but cannot be easily taught. And be transparent about compensation. At the last, you have to be transparent about the package. Most of employer are upfront about the salary. Most applicant accept job based off pay. As a hiring manager, you have to be transparent about the compensation, about the parks, about the facility. Okay, so these are the things who can maintain, build up your dream team for your startup. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was a great speech. I would like to request you to share your email ID so that if anyone has any queries, they can straight away connect with you.
Yes. So can I share it on chat box?
Definitely, that would be most comfortable. Shalini,
Okay.
I guess you
I'm
can
sharing.
resume.
Yeah. So I think there's some issue with my system, and that's why it got disconnected. I'm just trying to restart, but join on call on the phone. I doubt if I'll be able to present, but I'll probably, yeah, this is not something that I usually do, but I'll probably go ahead.
That's totally fine. You can continue over as a speech.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that all of you heard, but I'm not sure if you all heard till the social startup bit that I mentioned. Was I audible till that, or did I cut off before?
You were audible.
I was audible. Okay, great. So those are the kind of startups that we have. So what is your startup, and what is the kind of environment that you're going to work on is something that you'll really have to know before venturing into any kind of business. And the most important thing, and this is one of the reasons why most of the startups fail, is if you really have a market to your product. The product market, if you really have a good market, not a stagnant one, but improving market. So this is a bit about how you differentiate between different startups. Now, going on, let's say, okay, now you have an idea, you have a business plan, but you don't know how to go about it. Assuming that all of our startups will fall under a small business startup, or in the course of time maybe called viable startup, but in the beginning it'll either be a small business startup, mostly. So that means we are funding our own idea. So in the beginning, what I would say is, do not hurry up in forming a team, and you should be able to do or manage everything yourself. I'll give you a very good example of my own family, wherein my father started his business and there was nobody. He just started on his own. And at that point in time, it's proprietorship is something that was really a thing. It's not that you have a lot of people. And my father was getting into finance business, so he was a proprietor for a very long period, and only later he thought, okay, somebody related to finances is something that somebody related to finance is what I would have to hire, and that way he hired two people. Otherwise, it was just him. So you should be able to do everything when it comes to your business. You should, even though you're not capable of doing it, you should be willing to learn. So somebody spoke about innovativeness and flexibility. That's really important. You need to be jack of all trades, I would say, not master of all trades, but jack of all trades. You need to know what it is, what you're doing. So that is a willingness. But there are a few questions that come to our mind when we say taking somebody in or hiring a dream team. First thing that you need to understand is, what are the tasks on which I need help? What are the different kind of tasks? So it can be help related to admin, related to finance, related to sales, marketing. A lot of things come in when you're saying that you are going to interact with your customers. So what are the tasks that I need help with, and what are the tasks that I can do myself? So if I'm a coder, I can complete my product on my own, probably with the help of another friend who is really actually not an employee, maybe just helping me out with a testing part of it, or a part of coding related to my product. So that is what is important. You need to list down the tasks that you need help with, and whether you will be able to do it or not, or you actually need somebody to do that task. If I am a coder and I need one more person for help, I can either ask my friend, who will be ready to help probably, because he may get more interested in it, and he may also want to join whatever I'm getting into. Or at this point in time, I wouldn't say you need to go for somebody to hire, but maybe a freelancer. If you do not have anybody in your friend circle who is really good at a coding bit of it, then just go for a freelancer. there are a lot of platforms like Upwork. There is something called Moonlight. I was just researching, and this is what I found out. There's something called Moonlight, which is a very spoken about topic, but apparently that's also a site wherein you can just pick up people who are really interested and who really have the skill that meets your match. So that those are the kind of things that you need to take into consideration on what tasks you need help with and how you can tackle getting help for those tasks with limited budget, because you are funding your company. You may have worked in the past and then accumulated some amount, and every penny is important because it's your hard-earned money. The second one that you need to understand is whom should I consider to build my dream team. If it's just a team, you can randomly go and pick up anybody. But here you are talking about a dream team. That means a team who really understands what you're doing, and which the team which knows what your vision is and what are you planning to do with your idea and the business. So anybody you take up in your company, please keep in mind it's not about the previous experience. Previous experience, yes, it matters. Understanding the market matters, but they also need to know what is your goal and what's your vision about the startup. It's just not going to end in a year or so. You have a long-term vision, so you need to keep imbibing that into your team members. Even right from the time you start looking out for somebody to hire into your company, you need to start, I would say, marketing your vision. Even before you start looking for people around. The next one would be, how can I sell this position? Okay, so you've been promoting what you've been doing. You're trying to get some people, but you also need to tell them what is in it for them. So that is what is called selling a position. Selling a position for most of the people would mean compensation. But compensation is not the only factor when it comes to hiring in the startups. It could be a factor with a well-established company because they can afford to do it. But here, apart from compensation, when I say compensation, it's mostly the salary part of it. Or it is, if I take the example of a store, it's mostly the wages that you give on an hourly basis. It's not about that. You have to make it a little more attractive because you're still not a brand. So you may want to probably talk to them about, if it's a sales guy that you're getting on board, you may want to talk about giving some kind of a bonus if he achieves this much amount of sales. Or if you're getting to, if you're improving your company and you are getting somebody related to product management, and that person says, no, I don't want bonus, but I would like to have equity in the company. If somebody says they want to have equity in the company, don't take it wrong. Don't take it wrong that they're asking for a share in your company, but it was all your effort to start from the scratch. They're actually looking at a long-term perspective, which means there is no possibility that person is going to stay in your company for more than a couple of years. So if somebody says, I want equity, yeah, you definitely have to understand whether the person is capable of that role and if he really is interested in putting in the efforts. But if he says equity, don't don't just get offended. They're really interested in your idea and they really want to be part of your company for a very long term. So just take that into account when somebody says they want equity. Yeah, depending on what kind of role you're hiring, if it's just if it's an admin person, a front desk person, that giving equity doesn't make sense. So you may want to just give them a salary. And if it's a salesperson, there can be a sales leader, there can be a salesperson in the field. So a sales leader might be interested in bonuses because he's managing a team and he has some experience. And you may really not want to let him go after understanding about your product and developing a team within the organization. So you will need to keep your compensation structure flexible. It cannot be that suppose if I take TCS as an example, everybody has almost the same compensation structure, but you can't follow that in a startup. You need to have a flexible compensation structure based on the role that you're hiring for. The next one that you have to look at, which is very important if you have to sustain your dream team, is what is the growth plan for your business? It's not just hiring people. There are a lot of startups that you see, they would have got a lot of investment from a lot of venture capitalists, their company would have grown well, and the market capital of the company has been good. So they start hiring people, they start expanding a lot, as in within a year they would have expanded to maybe 3 major cities, etc. But at one point in time, let's say a pandemic comes in or a recession comes in, then what do? They just want to probably shut down a few shops because it's not giving them a lot of sales, or the profit has not been very good. And what do? They start with cutting down employees first, right? So that's not something that is encourageable, because if you have to build a brand as a company, try to understand what your business growth is. It's okay if it's going to take a year more, but ensure that you have a good business plan, and accordingly you're hiring people, not just for a temporary task that you're hiring these people into the organization, right? So ensure that these are in place. Having a flexible compensation plan is really very important. That's one of the strategies, I would say, for you to even start getting a team into the organization. I was just going through a few articles, because though I had spoken to a lot of my friends to understand how how their startups have been, I in fact have a friend who was who was part of a viable startup, wherein he actually did grow his business for 2 years, and then he got a good deal, and he just sold it off to another person, another brand. So it all depends on how you're going to take it. If you say, oh, no, this is my baby, I don't want to give it to somebody, yeah, just develop it. But ensure that you're not just cutting down on employees at any point in time. Understand whether you want a permanent employee or a contract staff. There are different options in recruitment as well. And in case you have to build a policy, or if you want to create policies in your company, maybe you don't want an HR person right away. You may just have to go to a freelancer and tell them, somebody who has an experience, and ask them, will you be able to help me with the basic policies of the company or legal aspects? Just go to there are a lot of people who do freelancing, the advocates. So just go to a legal person and tell them, this is what I want, will you be able to help me with it? Probably an hourly pay may be helpful. It all depends on what kind of relationship you have with that person. So that's then I was going through a lot of articles.
Salini,
I think
I had a small
yeah.
request if we could wrap it up soon. We have
In a minute I'm going to close it.
Great.
So there is an article from the Harvard Business Review. A lot of people keep writing in HBR, and one of the articles says it's just not the previous experience that matters, but it's about how passionate the team is, and how efficiently they're going to work towards improving the vision of the company is what matters. So it says shared entrepreneurial passion and strategic vision will lead to a superior team performance, and it's just not about team working. Yeah, a team working together is really important. Having experience is important, but having a shared vision, always put this in mind, they need to have a shared vision. They cannot work in silos or with just that kind of work. They'll have to be open to probably help out the other team, other department as well if required. These are the kind of people that you'll have to really look at while hiring for a startup. So this is just the knowledge that I got from a lot of people. Though I do not have a personal experience, but I've seen a lot of people closely working for their own startups. Basis their inputs, I'd put up a lot of things and given you a fair idea on how a startup works. If you have any specific thoughts, I know I'm beyond time. Any specific questions if you have, if that's okay, I can take it up. Otherwise, thank you so much for having me.
I would like to firstly thank Shalini a lot, because even after the technical issues, you again rejoined. But it's quite normal, happens. General, we all make mistakes. I would also like to thank Ms. Kharkwal. Kiran, your speech was short, but it was quite precise and to the point. Now I would like to request you, Shalini, to please drop your mail ID in the chat box. The attendees can straight away connect for any queries they have.
Definitely, yeah, we'll do that.
So further, moving on, I would like to invite Mr. Sarvabanandan, Vice President of Human Resources at Rapid Solutions, to share his thoughts. You are on mute, Sarvabanandan.
Yeah. Now, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible. Clearly audible.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Shravan and team. Thanks for a good initiative taken by the SK Associates to have interaction with the students and also with the lot of eminent HR professionals here. Nice to be here in this young entrepreneurs group. So it gives a lot of energy when you talk to the budding entrepreneurs or looking forward to catch up with the trend and then try to grow. Basically, when we look at this, look at the business, whether it is a startup business or a business which is running for years together. So whatever it is, it will definitely have a purpose, and then that business will have a clear business goals. So only when you have a purpose and the clear business goals, so you will be able to run your business with your plans. So it is very common for any business organization, whether it is startup or an organization that is running for ages. But to achieve the business goals, every organization requires kind of a certain support from their within the organization to achieve the business goals. And the major thing is, you forget about the resources or, infrastructure or whatever it is. We'll confine ourselves to this human resources as of today's topic. So we'll get into the topic of, how to build your dream team for your startup. So, but before that, I would like to give a small introduction because, how this startup is different from other business entities. This startup is different because it is coming out of somebody's idea and he's trying to build on it. So when somebody has an idea and then, when he is trying to, build on his business, so where from the investment comes and then what will be the investor will be looking at it. So investor will be looking at it, how much he will invest and then when he can exit. And at the time of exiting, the X that he has put in will become 5X or 10X or 15X. That is what, investor will be looking at it. So as a startup entrepreneur, you have to deliver it back to the investor. If it is started on your own money also, you will also have the same agenda to multiply your investment into 10 folds or 15 folds or 10X or 15X, something like that. And the startups have to grow faster because, if you are running it as a one-man army or, you're running it as, with very few people. So multiplying your business and improving your turnover, increasing your turnover will become a challenge. Maybe, some exemptions will be there, but, I'm talking about whatever, thanks to Shalini, she listed down a lot of startups, like a categorization of startups. So all the startups will have to, quickly grow except the big startups. So these startups, if they have to grow quickly, if you just try to, recollect your, from your memory, what are the companies that you are remembering from, that are, doing good as of today, you will be able to, list down few companies. And if I ask you, which are the companies that are doing good for the last 5 years or last 10 years, and if the list goes up, and then, if I start asking you, which are the companies that are there, existing, doing well, making profit, and all stakeholders are happy for 50 years, 100 years, we have to think and then, tell you. Because, there are very few companies. The data says that, many companies are opening up, but all companies are not continuing. Only few companies are succeeding and then continuing. What could be the major factor? So maybe, it will be, as we have rightly, developed the theme for this discussion, the dream team has to, make this organization live for longer or, serve for the purpose of what entrepreneur has put in. So this, when you have to, pick up, recruit people for the startup, it is something like, marriage only, how the marriage matchmaking is done. So similarly, you have to first, look at that point of view only to recruit the people. As Shalini also mentioned, you have to first sell your business idea to them. So whomever you want to, take on your side and take on your company, you have to sell your business idea to them. When you share an idea, he has to believe in it. When you share an idea, he has to believe that it is a great idea and it is going to make money. So he has to believe it, he has to trust you, and then he has to join with you. That is why I was comparing this with the matchmaking. So when recruitment becomes a big challenge, even in companies which are existing for years, it is very big challenge to recruit people for the startups. So when we recruit people for the startups, the major areas that I would like to the entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs to look at is the recruitment has to be a little different. You need to see whether the person whom you are onboarding or recruiting will share your vision. So only when the person whom you are recruiting share your vision, so you will be able to make him come along with you. So that shared vision is most important. I'll just tell you the broad classification and then get into the every single topic. So shared vision is one, and then you have to look into the skill sets, and then whether that person has an expertise or not. So that is more important. Skills and expertise. I will tell you how it is different from each other. I will come to that also. And then whomever you are recruiting nowadays, if you ask all the talent acquisition managers, they will be telling what will be the attrition rate. So what you have to look at is loyalty, whether that person will stay there for a longer time, and then what will be the compensation and budget that you have to maintain, and finally whether the person will be compatible to your culture or not. What is the culture that you are dreaming at, and then what is the culture that you are going to develop in your organization. So whether he is compatible to that or not, that you need to understand. So how to develop and identify a person who shares your vision? So only when you find the person who shares your vision, he will believe and trust your idea, and then probably the people who are joining you at the earlier stage, where you are managing everything as a one-man army. When somebody is joining you at the earlier stage for the different departments, I'm not getting into the departments. It may be sales or marketing or whatever it is, operations or whatever. It depends upon what kind of startup you are starting at. So based on that, there will be different departments, and then all the leaders, those who are joining you at the earliest, will be the leaders, and there are possibilities that they will become the co-founders. So this kind of a relationship, this kind of a bonding has to be established with the first set of leaders whom you are recruiting, because the first set of people are not mere workers. They have to be leaders. Only when you have more leaders, you will be able to carry forward your startup successfully. So we have to understand that difference, that and you have to pay them well. Only then they will be continuing with you. Okay. So then, you have to identify the required skill. So what are the skills that they need? So basically, when we are talking about, hiring leaders as the first set, so they will be in a very, very higher position in other organizations. And then basically, excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. So when we are talking about hiring leaders as a first set, That time, you should hire only the people, those who are in the middle level or senior level in other companies, who has this kind of required skills to carry forward your dream organization. So when you're hiring them, the role that they may be playing there will be, only monitoring and scrutinizing and strategic and suggesting, advising role to their subordinates. But here, you will not have a bunch of people to, execute whatever they are telling, or, they have to have a great vision, share your vision, and also when the need comes, they have to, fold their sleeves and then grease their hands and then get on to their subject. So they have to be on their own. So they have to do everything on their own. Sometimes, they have to go meet somebody for a small business call also. They cannot send their people who are working under them. They have to go. When you're hiring the senior people, these are the things that you have to see, that this compatibility will be there with them, so that, you don't have to tomorrow tell them, what is to be done. And here, the team leader and team member, there'll be no difference. There'll be no team leader, there'll be no team member, there'll be only single person. He has to develop the team only when the business grows up. So he has to ready to do the team member job, and then, slowly emerge as a team leader. Though he would have been worked as a team leader or a little more than that in a previous company, he has to get adjusted to this culture. And, that kind of a maturity has to be there. And also, he has to have hands-on skills to execute certain things. And take for an example, Infosys, 40 years before, recently last week, they celebrated their 40 years anniversary. So before 40 years, Infosys was also a very small startup. So 7 people, 7 engineers, they have come together and made a small investment and they started this. At that point of time, if you look at it, including the founder, chairman, Mr. Narayan Murthy, everybody was doing their job on their own. And they didn't even have a system, the computer of their own for the first 2 years. Only after 2 years they bought the computer, and then if you recollect all these things and then look at it, so what kind of facilities you will have as a startup, and how you have to emerge from all these things, and people whom you are hiring would have got used to this kind of facilities in other organizations, and they should come mentally prepared to adjust to all these things, and then work with all these things. So that is most important when you're hiring up people. And when we come to the next of from the skill sets to expertise, so they should have expertise in making your operations cost effective, whether it is service or whether it is consulting or whether it is manufacturing. They should have expertise in making your processes cost effective, so that only then you will be able to increase your profitability. So your revenue will be less, but your fixed cost will be at par with any other company. So you have to be more cost effective to increase your profitability. And at the same time, you cannot compromise on the quality. You have to deliver the same quality of what others are delivering, because end client consumer will be looking forward for the same quality of the product or same quality of service which others are delivering. They will not look at you as a startup so that they can give some relaxation. Nobody will give you relaxation because you are a startup. So you have to be competitive with other people in delivering the good quality and other things. And you have to come, your team, whoever is coming in, they have to add value to you. I'll just share a small example. When I was in Gujarat, I happened to travel with one of the catering contractor. So he lives in Ahmedabad, but he was giving service in Surat. So I asked him, how come, you are in Ahmedabad, but how you got, business opportunity in Surat and all. It is about 15, 20 years back where this kind of a social media and a net internet were not so much used in places like, interior Gujarat and all that. So even in those days, he was getting kind of a business opportunity in Surat, a small caterer, and he's becoming a big caterer. So I asked him, what is that? So I said, I am giving value addition to, my customer, and I'll try to be innovative. So the team that you are recruiting, their expertise should give innovation in the service you are offering or innovation in the product you are delivering, so that it will be received well. So that caterer was giving 25 types of puris. So there is kind of an innovation that he has given to his customers. So that expertise has got him more and more business. And the person whom you are recruiting has to have thirst for the knowledge, and he has to keep updating himself. And this is kind of an expertise. And then when we talk about, loyalty, maybe, it will look like a very alien word. And then, nowadays, you don't find anybody continuing with any organization for more than 2 years or 3 years. So it's a very, very alien word, loyalty. But you cannot do this in a startup, because when he trusts your idea, believes your idea, he joins you, and then you accept him as a co-founder. And then, as Solny was also mentioning, you share in the profit, or give them the shares or whatever it is. So it has to be long lasting. So they have to be long lasting with you. So we have to design their compensation in such a way, or ESOPs in such a way that they carry a better thing, and it is a kind of a wealth creation. So you have to offer them in a package, wealth sharing, so that they create a wealth sharing of the profit earned by the company, so that they create the wealth on their own. So that is most important. You have to be flexible, and you can be calculative, but you have to be flexible. So this is most important when you are talking about loyalty. This is one of the ways of creating the loyalty. And the person whom you are recruiting should have financial acumen. So then only you can talk about the budget. It is not only HR budget, it is also operation budget, and all the budgets are included in this. So you have to look for a financial acumen in the person whom you are looking at, and then these are the criteria you have to see that when you're recruiting him, he has to have it, and you have to orient them on this. So the orientation is more required because it is a single person's idea, and then that idea is going to be carried forward by the team that you are recruiting. So you have to share your idea, orient them in that, and then you have to take them on the same page. Only then you can write a great story. And then, finally, what is most important is, when we talk about the culture, most important is mutual respect. So they are joining you, and then, they are sharing your ideas, they're carrying forward your ideas, and then, giving a life to it. So you have to respect them, and there has to be, you have to enable them to give the best potential. So that all this kind of things has to be there, and their values and organization values has to be integrated. You have to see that their values and organization values are integrating at some point. And as an entrepreneur, you have to facilitate this. You have to keep facilitating this. Then only the team will grow well, and it will be able to scale up. So when you're starting with something 0 and then going to 5 and going to 10, so like this, you have to scale up, and then they have to have the capability to switch over from the small enterprise to a larger enterprise. That is why you have to be very careful in inducting your first set of employees, so that you orient them well, and then take them from the right background so that you can go well.
That is actually quite noteworthy, Mr. Nandan. However, I would like to request you to wrap up your speech. We have two guests still remaining on the panel.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what basically, we really need to look at it. And then if you look at the 6 points and then practically employ them, definitely, every organization will be successful. So I wish all the budding entrepreneurs to be more successful, and nice talking to all of you. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Shravan. Thank you.
We would like to thank Mr. Nandan for his knowledgeable speech and request him to share his mail in the comment box for any queries our attendees might have.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. So now I would like to invite Mr. Nilesh, founder and CEO of Speak to Uplift, to share his perspectives.
Hello guys, hi, welcome. So I look like a young you, right? So I will tell you my journey, how I started. We will go practicality, how we started. I started from zero. Now I'm working with a team of 48 people, right? So I started 5 years ago when I was at college. Always have a thought of mind in my mind कि खुद का करना है, right? And from second year of my college, I started with assignment making, right? I started seeing people are like students having, they don't want to make assignments, right? So I started with a bunch of friends, like 2-3 friends, and we started making assignment and started earning. And for 1 year we did it, and after that we stop it because I know this. I don't want to do it for a lifelong. I just want to earn something, right? So I done for the earning purposes. I started gaining experience from that, and then next year we started with one of my friend and me started with a venture of Speak to Uplift, and we started providing services of different things, right? Like content marketing, digital marketing. खुद को कुछ नहीं आता है, but we will provide, right? So that is our confidence in my mind, right? Always have a thought कि एक team बना देंगे, धीरे धीरे करके चलेंगे. So that also failed, right? 2 years regular failures of startup. Doing good in studies, doing good in other curricular activities. Always, I am the person who always go for the speech debate competition. I never sit in classes, right? So then comes the year, a turning point, you can say, right? And people getting a name over there, like Nilesh is there. He just starting doing, and your classmate make you have so much fun because you're not doing well, because you're not getting the leads and you're not operating the things. Then Nilesh, after the degree, started into his family business, makes his family automobile business big. Then seen a management person started with the software wala thing. Software. This is the fourth venture now. Right now, Speak to Uplift. Now it's come to the fourth venture, which is software thing. Basically, I seen like a software guys, tech guys are earning in lakhs, 30 lakh packages, 35 lakh packages. I created a group of 5 to 6 software engineers. I started taking projects from US companies, Canada companies. Dheere dheere contact bante gaye. Starting, I don't have any contacts, but I started gaining projects. I started with the office. 6 people started working from there. Right. So that how I started my journey. And I believe like I have heard so many speakers, and I totally agree with the point. How many of you use LinkedIn? Just you need to raise your hand or say yes in the chat box. Be fast. Just 10 seconds. How many of you use LinkedIn actually? I just want yes or no. Be fast. Okay. Ajay use and Pankaj use. Okay. Mostly of you use. I don't know how many of you are actually active or using, right? So I now comes into the point of LinkedIn and other things also. So I like might you know Anubhav Dubey, right? Chai Sutta Bar. सुना होगा ना चाय सुट्टा बार कैसे बना अनुभव दुबे right? So one thing I seen his latest post, or I think yesterday post. So he said start your journey from your college days, right? Might you fail, but you going to learn so many things. So that is my point over here. You just start with the things. Don't think about making a team of a big. Try to do everything at your own, right? So one day you will feel कि हाँ यार कुछ तो हो रहा है. You will start earning, and then you will turn into the team. You don't even know कि कब तुम्हारी team बन जाएगी, right? So that is my point. When it comes to the fourth year, 2020 during the COVID, yeah, it was 2020 during the COVID. I started with the like a venture. So हमने online operate करना start किया, हमने services provide करनी start करी companies को, right? We started gaining clients and all. I don't even know when the people are actually stressed. I am actually at the stressful, but मेरे को नहीं पता था क्या हो रहा है. And I got a team of 30 people around. 5-7 people are working over there with me, but I don't know when it happens and how it happens, and we turn the team into 30. काम ही इतना बढ़ गया and we need to turn our team into 30, right? So that's how we gain our confidence. We started our own office, a venture in like Punjab only. I'm from Punjab, so we started our office in Punjab only. So we started providing services. Now the question comes, which is actually we are talking over here, how to build a dream team. So there is no exact way to build a dream team, right? First of all, try at your own. When you are starting, don't think about making a big. आजकल ना startup word बड़ा viral है. जब से Shark Tank first season आया था, और बहुत सारी चीजें स्टार्टअप वर्ड बहुत वायरल है. आजकल हम कुछ भी करते हैं ना यार, स्टार्टअप है मेरा, राइट? स्टार्टअप है मेरा. स्टार्ट अर्निंग फ्रॉम इट. पहले कुछ उससे कमाना स्टार्ट करो, चाहे वो फ्रीलांसिंग ही हो, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज अशनीर ग्रोवर ने, मैं ना लोगों की स्टेटमेंट्स बहुत याद रखता हूँ जो मेरे को अच्छी लगती है, राइट? लाइक स्पीकर्स ओवर हियर आल्सो टॉक अबाउट मेनी स्टेटमेंट्स. सो अशनीर ग्रोवर ने एक बार कहा था कि write a founder on your post or your profile when you feel you are adding value to someone's life. Don't write for the sake of fame. You will get fame for some of the time and after that you will lose it. If I say I'm the founder, right? I'm the founder of Speak to Uplift. I'm the founder of Apna Jugaad, which is a new venture now, right? So I'm founder of this. But if I'm not adding any value, people will recognize, हाँ यार वो लिखा हुआ है founder वाला, ठीक है, कुछ करता नहीं है. Right. So that is my point over here. Start earning from the things you are doing. अपने आप को इंडिपेंडेंट बनाना सीखो. पहले तो चीज ये है, like you are in the college. मैं ये नहीं कहता start earning 50,000, 60,000 rupees. Just make a target. Like if you are going to be in, I don't know, like you guys are in MBA, you guys in which like doing which degree. So for example, your degree is going to complete in 2023 or 2023. Make a resolution. You just want 5,000 a month. You just want to earn a 5,000 a month. I will give you the tricks how to earn. You will feel ki 5,000 turns into 15,000 and 25,000. Start your LinkedIn handle regularly. You just find me, Nilesh Kataria, right over there. Right. We will discuss how to earn. You can earn like around 50-60,000 a month from LinkedIn only. Just sitting at your home. You don't need to do anything. Literally, I'm saying. That's from the earning point of view. And when you don't even know when you need a other person, you just need कि यार तू भी आजा मेरी team में, we need a person, right? So I'm happy with my life, right? I'm enjoying my life. I love the way I'm doing, right? And I really want to do big things in my life. I go to colleges as well, right? I go for the lectures. I go for like entrepreneurship cells and all. But right now I'm like very young. I'm just 24, right? So I just want to, okay, I'm just 24 only. So I just want to build something big in my life. Satisfaction एक चीज होती है, अभी तक नहीं हूं मैं life से, right? So that is my thing. Just try the things. You will start earning from it. You will start turning with your team, right? So that is a small, like a delivery, right? Tips have been told by many people, like who have experienced good amount of experience than me, right? I have worked for MNC as well. In just मैंने बहुत कुछ 5-6 साल में मेरे को हमेशा अपने लाइफ से कुछ अलग करना था, right? I went USA as well. I've worked there. I came back because opening of my things, right? So that's my point over here. Thank you so much, guys.
That was a great speech, Nilesh. But however, earning must never be the motive of entrepreneurship. It must be impact. That is my perception. Anyway, Aditi.
Yeah. I would like to thank Mr. Nilesh for his beautiful and informative speech and request him to share his mail in the chat box for any queries our attendees might have. Now I would like to invite Ms. Kunjal HR Operation Manager at Royal Staffing LLP, to commence her speech.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, everyone knows that for the business, profit maximization is first mandatory skill. But I would like to say no, because first we should build a team, manpower. Through manpower or through employees, we can make money. So for build a team, you should know about, start with you, know yourself, know your strength and weaknesses. For just a second. Hello. Sorry, there is network issue. Yeah. So I'm telling that if you are start your own startup, right? So know about your inner strength, because if you have a good knowledge in finance, HR, marketing skills, but if you don't know about what is the exact your market, what which type of business you go into, then and only you can start your own business. First, sorry.
Network issues are a bit very common. Until Ms. Kunjan returns, I guess we can discuss the opinion poll in question. Aditi, if you could just read it out.
Yeah, she joined.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Am I audible, right?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So I am telling that you should hire a experienced person who will be your advisor as a in finance, marketing, HR field, who have a accent मतलब accent ले सके, who has a experience in on your business types, so they can grow your business. And for the junior level position, you should hire freshers, because they have a very good uh, skills and keen to learn new skills. So with this, you should hire fresher and encourage them and motivate them for analytics, learn to analytical skills. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
That was a great speech, Kunjan. I would like to request the attendees to kindly participate in the polls and give down your opinions. Further, I would also like to thank Ms. Thakur for her informative speech and request her to share her mail ID in the comment box for any queries our attendees might have. We would also like to thank all the guests on the panel for making this conference such a warm and productive event with their views and insights, and all the attendees for patiently hearing us throughout the conference. Moving forward, I would like to request the attendees, if since we have a bit of time, in case you have any queries, you can point out your specific speaker you would like to question, and you can just unmute yourself and put the questions forward. Pankaj, no questions today?
I just want to ask a question how to handle the situation during the crisis. Like we have seen the COVID-19, like a lot of small scale sector businesses got impacted. So on that time, how to handle, like the situation like GST, demonetization, it severely impacted the MSME sector or small business sector. So as a startup, like how we can handle the external forces which impact the businesses.
Nilesh, I guess you are the best suited to answer this question.
Thank you. So See, one thing is when you like start into your own venture, right? Um, First thing is be ready, right? Every day you will feel you are doing good. The other day you will feel you are not doing good. That's the first thing. Like I think Nandan sir talked about one thing. Uh, Team building will happen side by side, right? But when you are into startup, you need to be focused. It is not a job of 2 years, right? After 2 years you will feel nahi ho raha hai to chhod dunga, right? Crisis gonna come, right? You need to be like, for example, you talk about demonetization, you talk about GST, how you need to know about the things. You really need to have your skills, right? I think in the starting, one ma'am to talk about this. You need to know all the skills, right? चाहे ज्यादा नहीं, थोड़ा थोड़ा जरूर आना चाहिए, right? I'm very weak at Excel. Just a one example, I'm very weak at Excel. I'm very weak at Tableau, right? I really want to learn, right? But when it comes to marketing, I'm the brand. If you just want to say Pankaj, you just आपने मेरे को मिले और आप कह रहे हो कि मेरे को ना फेमस करना है. फॉर फेमस छोड़ो, मेरा एक प्रोडक्ट है, मेरे को ये प्रोडक्ट को बेचना है. कहाँ बेचूंगा? बेचने का तो पता नहीं, लेकिन कल को एक हफ्ते के बाद पंकज हर कोई याद जरूर रखेगा कि पंकज का कोई प्रोडक्ट है. That is what I have the capability. I need to trust on that, right? So you need to know your strength, you need to know your weakness, you really need to work on that. And when it comes to uncertainty, is this gonna happen, right? This is not for only startups, this is for the big businesses and like MNCs as well. They also need to think about that, right? So that is my simple answer. Be ready for it. Everything new like struggles gonna come.
Okay, thank
Just try to add value, right? Just try to add value. Don't think about right now if from the first day, like I started this apna jugaad wala thing a month ago only, right? If from the first day I'm thinking from earning from the people, might I not able to add the value, right? Just one example, whenever we are at home, we always say, for example, I just want to have noodles. What thing comes into my your mind? Maggie, right?
you.
Maggie. Why not you say Patanjali? Why not you say Yippee? The value they have added in your mind, the emotion they have built with you. Just try to build your emotion with the consumer कि वो कहे ये 10 रुपए ज्यादा भी बेच रहा है तो भी मैं इससे लूंगा, right? So that is the point. I hope
Thank
I
you.
able to answer that.
Yeah, that was quite clear, Nilesh. Any other questions? You can simply.
Yes, sir. As Kunjal ma'am said, if you are having a startup, then you should go for experienced candidates over freshers, which will help us to guide. Sir, what was your view on this? Should we go for experienced candidates or for freshers?
You are asking me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, it depends upon the cost right now. If I like, for example, we take an example, you are starting something and you don't have a money. Simple as that. You are a college student, you don't want a money from your parents to say कि I just want to do my own, right? First be clear with your plan. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि यार मेरे को ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है और ये भी करना है, right? First be clear with your plan. And when it comes to hiring is very अभी बहुत दूर है hiring. पहले तो हम अपने आप को पहले vision तो clear करें कि हमें करना क्या है और उसमें देखें कि what I can do from that, right? At what point I need a person, and then we need to see we need a hiring a person who having experience, right? Connections बनाने बहुत जरूरी है life में, right? I just talk about one thing with you guys. Just start posting random content on LinkedIn. For example, you are attending this conference. Make this conference as big as you can. This is in your hand, right? We are doing that. For example, 30-40 people are present over here. We 30-40 have a power to make this big. You know that. For example, I post about it. I have around 25,000 following rate on LinkedIn, right? You guys must have some of people, right? They will say, यार हर कोई डाल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है, right? So that is my point. First, make your connection as strong as you can. For example, आप मेरे साथ इतना बाउंड बना लो कि कल को आपको ये चीज स्टार्ट करना है, and then you just call नीलेश ऐसा ऐसा चल रहा है, क्या करें इस कंडीशन में? कोई मना नहीं करेगा, लिटरली बता रहा हूँ, कोई भी मना नहीं करेगा. First, like take advice from different people, and then you will have so many advice, and then thought of what I really need to hire right now, or I can do task at my own. फ्रीलांसर्स बहुत काम करते हैं उस टाइम पे, स्टार्टिंग में फ्रीलांसर्स. ठीक है, अब मैं एक छोटी सी एग्जांपल दूंगा, ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लूंगा, 30 सेकंड, राइट. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई जस्ट वांट टू स्टार्ट दिस अपना जुगाड़. मेरा हमेशा से एक फंडा रहा है लाइफ में, जब से मैंने 5 साल से स्टार्ट किया, मैंने सच्ची बता रहा हूँ, मैंने 1 रुपया नहीं लगाया. मतलब घर वालों से, इट्स नॉट लाइक कि देयर इज सम फाइनेंशियल इश्यूज और नॉट, दे कैन गिव मी मनी, बट मेरा एक अपना है कि मेरे को नहीं लेना है, सिंपल सी बात है, आई डोंट वांट टू टेक, राइट. सो व्हाट आई हैव डन फॉर अपना जुगाड़, मैंने हर बिजनेस जीरो से बनाया. तो मेरे को ये था कि मेरे को इससे पिछले बिजनेस का यहाँ पे पैसा नहीं लगाना है, इसको भी जीरो से बना, राइट. आई फाउंड 2 पीपल ओवर देयर, लिंक्डइन. ठीक है, मेरे अच्छे कनेक्शन से दोनों से. एक थी टेक फील्ड की, राइट, एक थी सीए से. मेरे दोनों से फ्रेंडशिप थी, राइट. तो मैंने उन दोनों को प्लान सुनाया. मैंने कहा ऐसा ऐसा है, एंड इफ यू वांट आगे जाके इक्विटी वाला सीन, यू कैन. ठीक है, बट राइट नाउ माई प्लान इज दिस. दे बोथ गॉट रेडी. मैंने कहा मेरे को सिर्फ 3 महीने के लिए 1-1 घंटा चाहिए रोज, और 1 घंटा प्लीज. 1 घंटे से ऐसा नहीं हो कि मैं बिजी हूं, मैं बीमार हूं, डोंट नीड दैट, राइट. 1-1 घंटा रोज चाहिए. नाउ आई स्टार्टेड विद अ लिस्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज. हमने 1 महीने में क्या किया, हमने एक सर्विसेज लिस्ट ऑन की जो हम प्रोवाइड करेंगे. 10-15 सर्विसेज लिस्ट ऑन कर ली, राइट. तो मैंने कहा कि अब आप प्रमोट करना स्टार्ट करो. हमने प्रमोट करना स्टार्ट किया. मैंने क्या किया, उन्होंने कोर्सेज बना के दिए, मैंने अपना जुगाड़ का पेज बनाया लिंक्डइन पे, और वहां पे जाके सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग इंटर्न डाल दिया, राइट. मैंने कहा सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग इंटर्न, और फिर मैंने उसमें बता दिया कि मैं पर्क्स क्या देने वाला. ठीक है, आई नेवर लाइक मेनी पीपल माइट यू सीन मेनी कंपनीज आर डूइंग कि सर्टिफिकेट देंगे और पैसा नहीं देंगे, राइट. सो आई नेवर हैव दैट इन माय माइंड कि पैसा नहीं देना है, ऐसा वाला कोई सीन नहीं है. काम करेगा तो पैसा मिलेगा, सिंपल सी बात, राइट. सो आई स्टार्टेड कमीशन बेस्ड वर्क है, दिस इज दिस वर्क. एक दिन पोस्ट किया और अगले दिन 131 कैंडिडेट के मेरे को मैसेज आ चुके थे, 131, राइट. सो आई हैव टीम, मेरे पास 7-8 लोग की टीम बन गई, राइट. तो 1 महीने में हमने लोगों के दिमाग में घुमा दिया. फॉर एग्जांपल, हियर द एंकर इज, वो खुद कंफ्यूज हो गई कि इसको अपना जुगाड़ से कंडक्ट करें या इसको स्पीक टू अपलिफ्ट से करें, राइट. उसने पहले कहा अपना जुगाड़, माइट उस तक पहुंच गया वो अपना जुगाड़ वाला भी सीन, मैंने नहीं इनको बताया. आई एम फ्रैंकली सेइंग, माइट यू नो गाइस, मैंने आपको सिर्फ स्पीक टू अपलिफ्ट के बारे में सारी इंफॉर्मेशन दी. अभी अपना जुगाड़ पे हम काम कर रहे थे, बट वी आर नॉट रेडी. शी जस्ट सेड फाउंडर एंड सीईओ ऑफ अपना जुगाड़, एंड देन शी व्हेन आई जस्ट केम फाउंडर एंड सीईओ ऑफ स्पीक टू अपलिफ्ट. मेरे लिए वो सबसे बड़ी खुशी वाली बात है कि वो यहां तक भी पहुंची, राइट. सो दैट इज द थिंग. डोंट थिंक अबाउट मेकिंग अ टीम, अभी एक्सपीरियंस वाला लेना है या फ्रेशर लेना है. फर्स्ट बी क्लियर कि क्या काम मैं खुद से कर सकता हूँ, फिर कैसे चलना है.
Okay, sir.
That was a great insight, Nilesh. Thank you. Further, if anyone else has any questions, Pinaka and Nandan, I guess you both would be glad to answer them. Any more questions? You can just unmute yourself and ask. Vathera, no questions? Okay. Archusmita, Arshana, Abhinav, Akanksha, Bhavya, Elissa. Any questions at all? Okay. That's fine. Okay. I would like to thank all the guests for making this conference such a warm and productive event, and definitely all the attendees, because hearing to a 1-hour conference session per day does take a lot of patience too. So we would also like to request all the attendees to again vote for today's best speaker by typing the name of your preferred guest speaker for today in the chat box. Alongside this, there shall be a poll happening in the WhatsApp groups, conference groups that you all attendees are added in, so that we can again vote for a best speaker. But still, for now, just put the name of your favorite speaker in the chat box. Yeah, just go on. We have 2 minutes to go, and we have 5 speakers present today for consideration and standing for votes. Just go on, put the name for your favorite speaker here. Yeah. Shalini, Nandanji, Nilesh. Good. Come on, we have 34 attendees in the meet yet. Vishal, if you could just drop a message into the conference group notifying everyone that the voting is going on. Votes, please. Faster. We have got many votes to consider. Barely 10 or 12 are in here. 34 attendees, yeah. Be a bit fast. Hey, it's not Apna Jugaad. Type the name of Nilesh. He has got a name, right? Put it.
Just one thing I just want to add for 30 seconds. मेरे दिमाग में रह जाएगा नहीं तो please. If I have. So अजय ने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था और पंकज ने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा, राइट? मेरे दिमाग में एक चीज चल रही थी, ठीक है? Make your brand as strong as you can ना. मतलब फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेक योर ओन ब्रांड. आजकल ना पर्सनल ब्रांड की बात बहुत चल रही है. Might you seen personal brand, personal branding? You need to know, right? What is personal brand is all about. Might पंकज का ब्रांड इतना स्ट्रांग हो, कर आप छोटी सी चीज रहे हो ना, कॉलेज में छोटा इवेंट हो रहा है, उसको इतना बड़ा दिखाओ, भाई मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, राइट? मेक योर पर्सनल ब्रांड एज स्ट्रांग एज यू कैन, बिकॉज व्हेन इट कम्स टू 1000 स्टूडेंट, आप अकेले नहीं पढ़ रहे हो यार, बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस में बहुत बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, राइट? और आपको क्यों कंपनी लेके जाएगी 2 करोड़ पे या 10 लाख पे, वो आपको डिसाइड करना है, राइट? योर ब्रांड नीड्स टू बी एज स्ट्रांग एज यू कैन, राइट? देन यू नॉट नीड टू थिंक अबाउट कि मेरे को एक्सपीरियंस वाला चाहिए, प्रेशर वाला चाहिए, राइट? मैंने आपको एक चीज कही, आई एम जस्ट 24 एंड बिलीव मी गाइस, आई रिसीव मैसेजेस फ्रॉम द बिग पर्सनैलिटीज एज वेल, आई हैव मेट देम, ठीक है? हर चीज डिस्क्लोज करना है वो चीज तो अलग बात है, बट दे पर्सनली मैसेज यू, राइट? बिकॉज यू हैव बिल्ड योर ओन ब्रांड. दे स्टार्टेड सेइंग यू कि ऐसे को ऐसा कैसे करें, राइट? व्हाट आई कैन डू इनटू दैट. Build your brand, start building it. It will not happen like in 1 day or 2 days. Just take a challenge from now on. It's a simple challenge. You just need to tag. I will surely gonna look all the post. हमने इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को, आज की कॉन्फ्रेंस को बिग बनाना है, जो ये 3 दिन की कॉन्फ्रेंस है, राइट? Just take a one like idea from my side. Start your learnings, not about like what you have learned in all 3 days, right? Start posting about on your LinkedIn handle, right? You will feel कि कुछ ना कुछ लोग उसको जानना स्टार्ट, दिस इज द ब्रांड फॉर दिस वन, राइट? ऐसे करके आप रेगुलर पोस्ट भी स्टार्ट कर दो, या बहुत चीजें, स्टार्ट लर्निंग फ्रॉम द थिंग्स, यू गोना रॉक फॉर श्योर, राइट? पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग बहुत जरूरी है, बहुत जरूरी है. लिटरली पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग गोना मेक यू फ्रॉम हेयर टू हेयर. आपको पता ही नहीं लगेगा पर्सनल ब्रांड कितनी बड़ी चीज है, राइट?
That's a noteworthy addition.
Sorry, मैंने फिर से दोबारा से टाइम ले लिया.
No, that's totally fine. Actually, it's an important point. Even I would consider making it a compulsion for students to post their certificates and everything on LinkedIn. Thank you. Fine then. I guess we are done with the voting. So the names of the top 3 speakers of all 3 sessions of conference 1.6 shall be declared on the 3rd session, end of the 3rd session, that is tomorrow. We shall return tomorrow again with the 3rd session of conference 1.6. Until then, stay tuned and keep dreaming.